the best
of Ron and Fez. It's the best.
Yeah, buddies. Ron and Fez show. With you to 3 o'clock. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. I heard Lily bring this up in the office the other day. She was arguing back and forth with, I forget who it was, one of her little boyfriends in here, about what animal has the best house, Fezzy. Now, it is a difficult thing to even call when the animals have a house. One thing that really, I think, separates the humans from animals, home furniture. You will not see anybody out there who will get the beautiful furnishing that we have as human beings.
Oh, yeah, with an animal, it's just someplace to sit. There's no sort of decoration that's going into it at all.
Now, Eastside Dave, you were part of this in a big, big way.
Yeah.
What's the best animal house for you?
I think beavers make the best houses because they construct their own thing out of logs.
You know what? I was thinking the same exact thing. Beavers have, without a doubt, the best houses. Nobody comes close to the beaver. Number one, they have walls. I don't like a bird's nest like you normally like, Dave, because a bird's nest has no roof and no walls. If anything, they make a mat for themselves. But you gotta have some walls there. Now, what do you guys think about animals that will dig and burrow their way into the ground?
I don't think that's a real house because they're not constructing anything. They're just digging.
Yet they are able to get out of the elements. You have to give them credit for that. Are you telling me the ant hasn't come up with an actual house?
I don't consider that a house. I consider that them just, digging themselves in.
Have you ever heard of the term ant farm?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
But aren't ant farms usually consistent of when they build things, like they build like a little hill?
They will force the hill, and then basically they're digging inside the hill. What about for you, Big Earl Douglas?
I was going to go squirrel.
Squirrels, they have a hole in a tree?
Yeah, they have a hole in the tree, and they store things. They have storage compartments. They have a place to sleep.
Well, yeah, they do store things. It's a leap to call that a compartment, though. I mean, it's not like they have a shed.
I understand, but to have a place to, first of all, to store your food and to basically survive throughout the winter.
I will give them credit for this, yeah. They have food that can be kept, unlike the bird. But let's face it, how long you want to have a worm sitting there? But a squirrel will say, and a squirrel basically lives in a hole, but a hole in a tree. I think I prefer a hole in a tree to being underground. That is closer to being, having a house. You're above ground, you're surrounded by wood. That's pretty much a house.
You have a beautiful view.
Yeah.
In terms of animal houses, that's got to be like living in a skyscraper in Central Park West.
True. Yeah. And let's face it, the nests have a better view. But if you're a bird, all you have is good views.
Yeah.
Fez, what about for you?
For me, it's the beehive. You're basically building condos. It's a bunch of separate apartments that the bees go in. They will put a door in there while the little bee is incubating or whatever, till it comes and hatches out. And
it's so sick, though. It's gooey, which I don't like. I like a nice dryness. And they're all packed in there together, basically ass to ass. You know what you're caught up in, Fez? B-movie. You're caught up in the Jerry Seinfeld Mania B-movie.
I got bee fever.
I was going to say, no disrespect, but it's like people living in India, where there's just way too many of them having to share the same house.
It still comes across as disrespectful.
Well.
And how much time do they spend in there?
The Indian people or the bees?
No, not Indian people. I understand Indian bees. Dave, I tried to call you, and I'm going to pull you back in. Send Pepper in. I had no right to go to you. Fez is having a rough day, so I thought I could call you in. I couldn't. I made a big mistake. Pepper, come in here and sit. Yes,
the beehive is very fragile, and it sounds like the animal projects, the way I have everyone packed in there.
You know what? I didn't think of that before. I have knocked down a beehive with a stick.
But
And you can't do that with a condo.
But it's got like an actual design to it where it's like a thought out home, not just putting a bunch of sticks together and getting lucky.
Yes and no. Basically, it's genetic. It's not thought out. It would be thought out if you saw different styles of beehives. I don't give a fuck where you are. Every beehive looks the same. So that isn't thought out any more than the way that their wings are formed or thought out. It's beyond them. What about for you, Pepper? You're half an animal yourself. You want to pull out your own apartment?
No. I like, even though bears don't build them, I do like bear caves. I think that's the best home.
Bear caves, let's face it, at one time, bears and humans were neck and neck, because humans, their initial thing was to find a cave. Now, we bring that up all the time. How many caves have you run into in your natural life? I mean, I can't say I've ever walked inside a cave that wasn't already set up as a coal mine. So I don't know how often it happened, Fez.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why you would have a whole clan of cave people inside a cave. You find one, you really got to pack it out.
All right, we're on a Fez show. Here's, let me go over to Dwayne. Dwayne, you're on a Fez. Go ahead, Dwayne. We don't have you, pal? Let's try Gino. Gino, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's happening?
Hey, Earl's wrong about the squirrel thing. They actually build a nest similar to a bird, except it almost looks like a hornet's nest.
What?
They might sometimes live in trees, and the reason I know this, being a Midwestern hayseed, I actually used to hunt squirrels, and so yeah, they actually make a nest. They don't actually live in hollow trees.
I had no idea that. Did you know this, Earl?
Did not know that at all. I always saw them in trees.
All right, that shit's all over. Yeah, but you know cartoon squirrels. You don't know.
That's what I was going off
Bugs
of.
Bunny. You tell me that most places will actually have a lamp down underneath there? I don't think so.
A hole with a mailbox.
Let me head on over here to Jay. Jay, you're on Run of Fez.
You there?
Yeah, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, Ron, Fez, love the show.
Yeah.
Hey, I just calling to tell you about a mud swallow. You gotta see these things. They spit this mud. They eat mud and they spit it out like it gets hard like concrete. And they build them up underneath the bridges and up in your under your
Very impressive.
house. And
Very impressive, a mud house. Again,
yeah, a mud house.
It's a hut.
remember, frontiersmen were doing this in the 1800s. So were neck and neck.
People
At
are
one-
still doing it, building
Yeah.
homes with mud.
Where?
I don't know, Aborigines maybe?
Adobes.
I guess.
All right, this got sent in. I heard some animals living next to them studios late at night instead of going home to Queens.
Not an animal.
You know who said that? Casey. She's 10 times more hysterical than Dave. I'd love to get her in here for better half. Here's Seth. Seth, you're on Run of Fez.
Best animal house is the monkey house.
Monkey house is considered one of the best animals. Here's John. John, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, Southeast Telco, checking in, Ronnie.
Hey, brother, what's happening?
Not much. Listen, the groundhog. The groundhog digs 2 holes. They actually invented central air. The air passes through and keeps them cool on the ground.
You know what? I'm gonna send you in the big ass prize closet. You know why, John?
Why?
Love the accent. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Here's Jack. Jack, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
Hey, I'd say birds smarter. They don't have to build for long term. They go south in the winter. So
Yeah,
they just
But they got built again.
Yeah, this bugs me. Yeah, why don't they come back and find their nest from last year?
I think the weather destroys them probably. Like snow or whatever. Right?
There's no nest that ever make it through?
I wouldn't think so. That's why
Besides,
they're constantly
you know,
building.
You know what I never liked about a nest? Crown of thorns. It always looked to me like the exact thing they put around Jesus. So that's why I would always throw rocks at birds. I called them Christ killers. Terry, you're on Run of Fez.
Yeah, hey, if we're going to go with everything, I'm going to have to go with a turtle.
Turtles were the original trailer dwellers, and they
Yeah, it's like
fucking act like it.
Yeah, it's like an RV. He goes everywhere he wants. Bam, he closes the door. It's raining.
And
he
it's-
pops back out. He eats. It's an RV on legs.
Who the hell wants to live in an RV? You got to be a scumbag to live in an RV.
That turtle must get awfully claustrophobic.